Hey everyone, I'm Sheena from the GR Network, and in today's video, we are going to discuss the topic of design thinking in education. We are going to take a look at what design thinking is, explore the cycle, take a look at a design created for a peer, how design thinking can be implemented in schools, and end with a reflection. First, let's start with the basics. What is design thinking? Design thinking is a problem-solving methodology that was developed by a number of people and organizations over many years, rather than a single individual. However, the concept is often attributed to the design consultancy firm IDEO, which popularized the term in the 1990s. The purpose of design thinking is to provide a systematic and human-centered approach to problem solving that emphasizes empathy, collaboration, and experimentation. It was originally developed as a way to help designers tackle complex design challenges, but has since been applied to a wide range of fields, including business, healthcare, and education. The design thinking cycle consists of 5 stages: empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. The first stage is empathize, where we seek to understand the needs and perspectives of the people we are designing for. In the define stage, we use the insight gained from the empathize stage to define the problem we are trying to solve. In the ideate stage, we generate ideas to address the problem. In the prototype stage, we create a physical or digital representation of our ideas. Finally, in the test stage, we gather feedback and refine our solution based on that feedback. The values and mission of design thinking include human-centeredness, collaboration, experimentation, and a willingness to iterate and refine solutions based on feedback. We should be mindful of the process. Remember, designing for others needs high consideration. It is not a race. Show but do not tell those you are designing for what they need. The needs of others quickly change and frequently. By showing options, you allow the receiver to critically think and choose what is best for them while remaining an active participant in their journey. Speaking of things changing quickly, by having a bias towards action, you learn to act quickly to learn faster. But it's also about choosing where to act, deciding what will drive the most useful learning for those you are supporting. Design thinking aims to create solutions that are not only functional and efficient, but also desirable and meaningful for the people who will use them. Scan this QR code to watch David Kelly, founder of IDEO, discuss human-centered design on TED Talk. Let's take a quick look at an exercise given to me by my instructor at Moreland University. Our cohort was tasked with partnering with a peer and to go through the design thinking process. Our goal was to discuss our onboarding experience when we first arrived in our schools. Here is the design thinking plan I created after hearing Heba's journey. Let's start with empathize. Heba joined an international school mid-year from a local school. She experienced a school culture shock as practices and procedures were very different from what she was used to. For example, allowing students the freedom to do things that might not have been permitted in a local school environment. She also mentioned that there were a bit of language barriers, limited technology training, and issues with the school's learning management system, PowerSchool. To define the problem, I consider the words of Jeremy Utley from d.School when he said, "Articulate your unique statement of the problem as informed by empathy for your user." He also said, "Keep it short, sweet, and sexy. If it takes more than one breath to make the statement, you have said too much." I defined Heba's problem as Heba needs a way to be supported in her school because the onboarding process was not concise or effective. In digging deeper, you could hear in Heba's voice that she felt lost and confused when joining her school. The feelings and emotions are what we grab onto to empower our design. Now to ideate, the brainstorming step of the design thinking process. I thought of some solutions that may help Heba immediately to solve the lack of support she faced. The quickest and easiest was simply to find a buddy that could help her. She could also start having conversations with leadership where she would discuss with them the school-wide initiatives and expectations for teachers and students. In short, find the opportunities to fill in the gaps. However, I could also see that Heba was kind, resourceful, and helpful herself. So a new idea developed to have Heba curate all the information she found out into a database for incoming teachers. As she would gather the information for her own understanding, she could become a resource for others as well. Since the problem Heba faced was in the past, creating a prototype for a past event is difficult. However, the prototype that can be designed is for the next onboarding event, which Heba could be a part of. My prototype would be the following: to find a buddy, which Heba successfully had done, and create a group on a popular messaging app used within the school or by the general public. Think WeChat, WhatsApp, etc. Heba can be the admin of the group, invite school members, and ask for support from those in the group, slowly building a network. Schools often have a system like this, but this group Heba would create may not have everyone in it. Only key players that Heba has identified could help her. Eventually, the group can expand to include all who wish to join. To test if the group is effective, Heba can ask what kind of things teachers have needed support with by conducting a survey. As the group grows and Heba learns more about her school, she can then take this information and place it in a database. Again, surveys can be used to check the effectiveness and use of the database by the group members. If Heba successfully becomes the resource she needed in the beginning of her own journey, she can then approach admin to see if she can be a part of the onboarding committee for the next school year and support incoming staff. Sometimes when we are made uncomfortable or there is a sense of confusion when working with others, it may simply be an opportunity to bring out our own skill sets to help. It goes back to the very beginning of the design thinking model, empathy. So how can design thinking be implemented in schools? How can we start? The decision to implement design thinking in education should be based on careful consideration of the potential benefits and drawbacks, as well as the specific needs and goals of the students and teachers involved. Start by seeking emotions, stories, and the motivations of those whose problems you are helping to design solutions for. Remember, be human-centered. Design thinking can be integrated into many different aspects of education, including curriculum development, classroom management, and student engagement. Teachers can use design thinking to create lesson plans that are more engaging and interactive, and students can use design thinking to solve real-world problems and develop their critical thinking skills. For teachers, there are many benefits to implementing design thinking, which include improved engagement and motivation, enhanced learning outcomes, and increased access to resources that support learning. However, there are also some potential disadvantages, such as the need for significant time and resources and the challenge of adapting to a new mindset and teaching strategies. For students, design thinking can help students to develop that critical thinking skill and problem-solving skills that are essential for success in the 21st century. It can encourage students to take ownership of their learning and develop a sense of agency and empowerment. Design thinking can also help students develop empathy and a deeper understanding of the needs and perspectives of others. Some potential disadvantages may be that design thinking may not be suitable for all students, particularly those who struggle with abstract or creative thinking. It may also require a significant amount of collaboration and teamwork, which may be challenging for some students who prefer to work independently. When I consider incorporating design thinking into the curriculum at Avenue Shenzhen, I initially didn't anticipate any difficulties since the school already uses inquiry-based and project-based learning, which are often compatible with the design thinking approach. However, after observing various teaching styles across different grade levels, I realized that teachers could benefit from a crash course, such as the one offered by d.School at Stanford. While I don't anticipate resistance to the concept of design thinking itself, I do foresee potential hesitancy from teachers due to the time-consuming nature of implementing this approach. There are several things that administrators and coaches could do. First, set aside time for teachers to participate in a workshop. Second, Ensure that the workshop is engaging and memorable. Ideas that are both enjoyable and easy to comprehend tend to stick in people's minds. Third, offer carefully selected external resources that teachers can explore at their leisure. Instead of having teachers spend countless hours searching for information on design thinking, coaches could create a Wakelet or a similar resource that contains the most relevant and current information on the topic, thereby saving teachers valuable time. I highly recommend the d.School at Stanford crash course video on design thinking. As a hands-on learner, I appreciate concise information that allows me to take action immediately. I found Perry Kleban and Jeremy Utley's presentation style engaging and energetic. This video serves as an excellent resource for individuals who prefer to process information at a slower pace. They can easily rewind and rewatch specific sections as needed. I particularly appreciated Perry's reminder that we are designing for the user, not for ourselves. In our profession, this may include students, parents, and colleagues, but we often forget that we ourselves can also benefit from design thinking process. It's important to show ourselves the same level of empathy we would extend to others. I'd like to introduce another valuable resource, which is the Google UX Design Certification available on Coursera. While watching the d.School crash course video, I was reminded of the UX design course offered by Google. Though they may have different terminology for design thinking, the fundamental principles remain the same. This course delves deeper into the various types of designers involved in UX design, such as interaction designers, visual designers, motion designers, graphic designers, and of course UX designers. These professionals work collaboratively with one another, forming highly diverse teams with the goal of creating an equitable user experience. And as with design thinking, the process always begins with empathy. Here's a quote from Michael, an interaction designer at Google. UX designers are empathetic too. Empathy is the ability to understand someone else's feelings or thoughts in a situation, and that is a major part of UX. Remember earlier when we mentioned equitable design and designing for everyone? Well, in order to design for everyone, we need to understand how a person might feel or what they might think in any situation. This is the kind of mindset we should have when we're thinking about designing for our colleagues and for our students. In my opinion, if educators started identifying themselves not only as educators, but also as creators and designers, it could potentially ignite a renewed sense of purpose and innovation in their careers. This shift in identity can awaken the critical thinking and creative skills that may be lying dormant in many teachers today. Design thinking, which requires thinking outside of the box, can lead to the discovery of exciting new ideas that motivate us to try them. In conclusion, design thinking is a valuable approach to problem solving that can be applied to many different fields, including education. By implementing design thinking in schools, we can create a more engaging and interactive learning environment and help students develop the critical thinking and problem solving skills they need to succeed in the 21st century. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found this video informative and helpful. Don't forget to subscribe.